Arun Jain is an Indian entrepreneur, the chairman and managing director of Intellect Design Arena. The words Indian and entrepreneur are defining aspects of Arun's personality. What began in 1993 as an engineering graduate's dream blossomed into Polaris, a 2,000 crore conglomerate with an exclusive focus on the banking and financial services industry. Now, with Intellect, he has shifted gears on his journey of innovation and strong intellectual property. Arun has received multiple awards such as Visionary of India 2014-15, Indo-Asian Business Initiative Award, ICICI Venture, CIA Connect Entrepreneur Award, etc. Let's welcome Mr. Arun Jain.
Good afternoon. I'm my life is becoming simpler because Lakshmi has spent a lot of time on design thinking, that how the design thinking will be important in the current era. This is my passionate subject for the last 7 years, which we are working at Polaris and Intellect, how the design thinking is so important in shaping the process of thinking. So one is about the skill, second is about the thinking, and design thinking is a manner in which it should be done. So we started this journey sometime in 2008, and I'm continuing the agenda which Lakshmi has put forward in ICT Academy. The design thinking will become a key factor along with mathematics to be there. And then for design thinking to be applied, I think we need a state infrastructure, which Mr. Ramachandran has really laid the foundation by putting 3 million laptops on the hands of the students, by putting the connectivity from the fiber, setting up a Tamil Nadu fiber network. I think the stage is set for creating a quantity, quality and equity, which Ramachandran has mentioned. I think could be connecting the dots when we talk about the design thinking for future smarter India. You have the remote, next slide. So if I look at it, we were in the morning discussing what is the power of Silicon Valley. There is only one Silicon Valley. Why there are not so many Silicon Valley? And we are getting into details of it that Silicon Valley has got just 3 million people. Half the Chennai, or less than half the Chennai, 40% of Chennai population, generating a market value of $2.4 trillion, equivalent to almost the market cap of entire Indian stock market, just by 3 million people. What makes the difference? And when we are spending a lot of time, we say that there could be a method where the local population is different, diversity is there, so many answers are coming in. But one common answer is the thinking process there is different. Something is different which is around the thinking process. It's not about the skill, it's not about the competency, it's not about the capability. I think all of us has that capability, thinking, but thinking is different, and that thinking comes from a design thinking. Can you give me the remote? Or can I? Who pressed the remote? Okay. So I found that the difference is in design thinking approach. So how the agenda of ICT Academy, which is about employability, where 7 years back, Ms. Lakshmi has taken the lead in the industry to connect the dots between educational institution and industry. How can we take it forward? I would say when I have to employ the people, what I look for? I look for, okay. Okay, it's slightly faster, so next slide. So it needs to be passionate. Somebody, I look for the person who is passionate, who is responsible, what task is given to. He needs to be accountable for the task which is being done. And then he needs to be a keen learner. He should be continuous learning. His knowledge of domain can come from his skills which is developed in the college. So if I look at the approach that he has 4 things which we are looking for as passionate, responsible, accountable, and keen learner to be evaluated at the time of hiring. We need to look at it, how do we shape that young minds? Young minds get shaped up at 2 stages in the life. One at the school stage, which is high school stage, and one at the college stage. So what we tried to experiment at Polaris in 97, we created a trust in 97 where we say each employee of the Polaris should shape the young minds of the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So that is at the high school level. What do we do at that stage? We look at it that a child, he learns differently, his thinking can be shaped differently when he gets a recognition at an early stage. Somebody asks what his dream is, that person who should ask the dream should be different from the person, his parents or his school teacher. It should be somebody else should ask the dream. And if somebody pens down the dreams in his diary, then that diary becomes inscribed into his mind and his actions become derivative of what his thinking is. So that's what the few design principles we said. He needs appreciation, he needs a recognition, he needs some trigger for learning. And second principle is his attention is higher when somebody from outside the system intervenes. So ICT Academy is something outside the system intervention. It's not an intervention within the system. So child learns when somebody else, a visitor comes to your school, you go to some other place, then your acceptance of that knowledge is much higher than acceptance of knowledge otherwise. And third thing is, there's a fear of corporate, something quote unquote fear of corporate in the student mind. How do you remove the fear? When he visits the corporate office, that fear gets removed. So we embedded this program in 98, and over the last 18 years we are running this program where we are encouraging that if there are 12,000 employees in Polaris Group, if we are mentoring one child, each corporate employee is mentoring one child, we are able to mentor 12,000 child in the community. So that was the first program. This program has been further broken down into a 4-step process where we build a dream. Second is build a conviction, build a planning thinking process in the child in high school, and build up a persistence, perseverance continuously. So 4 elements we call DCP square in our workshop. A dream which is written, committed, then building a conviction that I can do it, then plan for it, and then have a persistence on it. So this is what we try to build up in between 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Then we have divided into the 4 set of summit. We say first workshop is Diary of Dream workshop, which is around can do. We do it in a large music academy kind of a hall where we bring 2,000 students there and role models play them and they write a diary of dream there. And there's a diary of dream which is a diary, literally physical diary, where the role model pictures are there and they write a dream and they role models. So they commit in front of the public. So that's a diary of dream workshop. Second thing we look at it is, we do a 20 intervention in 4 years time. 5 intervention in 9th, 5 intervention in 10th, 5 intervention in 11th, 5 intervention in 12th. In first intervention of which we call Summit 1, we give them a simple memory and learning techniques like what remember or understanding techniques. We just supplement it like memory maps, and so that's the first kind of a 5 interventions. Second summit, we say that in class 10th, they should start planning their time, planning their prioritization. That's the kind of a skills we impart. We invite them to our office on Sundays and our volunteers teach them. The summit 3 is influencing. How do you influence other people? The building, the thought process, the shaping the learning process into the threads. And 4th summit is around persuasive articulation, the ability to communicate. The fear of communication, which is typically there in that standard that needs to be done. So there are 4 summit classes, which happens 1, 2, 3, 4. This program is to be run by Polaris and Intellect employees. Now it has been extended to college level. We extended to SRM college, and we invited the school's college student can you take this program of Summit 1 to Summit 4 to the villages and districts. So they've taken this program to districts. Last Sunday we had a program of Ullas Confluence in our campus on Saturday, Sunday, where 164 students came down from the various districts. These students are now spending their time going to the district schools, and they are helping Summit 1, Summit 2, Summit 3, Summit 4. So we are increasing the capacity and latent energy which is sitting with the college student to make it a Ullas chapters there. So because corporate employees, we set up this program 5 years back, where we say each employee can go to touch the soil to the specific district where he influences the school students when he goes from city to their own place. It's not that we are doing a benefit to them. They are learning more than what we are giving to them. These students, when they came Sunday, they were sharing with me. I spent a whole day on Sunday with them. What they were sharing with me was that they become responsible, because when they have to teach to the student in 9th, they have to convince headmaster of the school that we need to take 5 classes for 2 hours, so they build up a convincing capability with themselves. They become accountable because they have to go, in spite of their college examination, they still go out and take out time to go to the school, because once they made a commitment to them, that commitment happens. So the responsibility comes to them, accountability comes to them in that process. And this could be expandable process, because now it has gone to 10 districts. It can go to the 29 districts in a coming year from that particular process. So this helps responsibility, accountability to be built over there, and when they teach, they learn. So everybody, you are the teachers here, you know when you teach, the best maximum learning happens. So that is a part 1 of my address. Part 2 of my address is around design thinking, which Lakshmi has taken the point that how the design thinking is there, and there are multiple definitions of design thinking. He taken a one definition, that end state desirability is a definition, and it should not be just incremental, it should not be status quo. That's the definition. We picked up few definitions. We created a design center at our facility, which is 30,000 square feet state-of-art facility, because our belief was that we were creating the concepts between 2008 to 2012, but it was having an impact which is not more than 10 to 15% impact was happening. Then we said that we need to have a physical manifestation of a design center where people can see the center in the location and they can experience it. They live their life in that center over the longer period of time, then the thinking shift can happen. So when Silicon Valley, we are talking about the people have an environment which they see every day, every now, whether it's a Google environment or Apple environment or various environment which the people experience, how do we create that experience center there? But before getting into that, I said, what is design thinking? We need to anchor the design thinking. I have taken the 3 definitions of design thinking. One definition of design thinking is desirability, what Lakshmi was mentioning, human desirability. Technology makes it feasible, and business makes it viable. Intersection of human desirability, technology feasibility, business viability is the design thinking. Second definition is from Yale University. That was from Stanford University. The Yale University says that it's about the mystery in the marketplace. When mystery becomes heuristics and heuristics become algorithm, that's the design thinking. Then third definition of it is about understanding customer unstated requirement, observing patterns and anti-patterns. It's about connecting the dots. It's about connecting the dot within the box, outside the box, and it's about unearthing the blind spots. So there are 4 elements which is there in a design thinking, which we can decompose into a processes and system in the organization. So observing pattern and anti-pattern is a role which we can teach comfortably in the colleges, where when we teach the subject, we look at what are the common patterns across. So Mr. Ramachandran was mentioning about you need to observe what is happening in the community to create equity, to create equality, to create a quantity. We need to ensure that we observe the right pattern, whether within India, outside India, and then connect all of those patterns to make the difference to the state. Then what we are looking at it, if too much knowledge is imparted in a college, I say it's a forest of knowledge. The students live in a forest of knowledge. They are having a 20 subjects, 30 subjects, so many credit points in the university. How do I move from a forest of knowledge to street and avenues of Manhattan? In Manhattan, when you are there, you cannot be lost. You get lost in a forest, but you don't lost in a New York, Manhattan. Anybody who has gone, every street is numbered. Avenues are there, so you find the coordinate. How do you move the knowledge to be coordinated? That's what industry needs. Industry needs that knowledge to be translated into a street and avenues. And there the design thinking plays a critical role. At this point of time, because we run in a complex product design, we run a banking products which runs for Reserve Bank of India. So we write the banking products which run for JP Morgan Chase or Lloyds Bank or Barclays Bank. We run those complex technology systems. For us, it becomes very, very important that we understand failure patterns very, very deeply. So from that perspective, we've broken down our banking domain into, we call level 0. Then it's like a periodical table of the knowledge. Then you can go into each sub-element of it, which becomes L1 level of knowledge. Then you go deeper into it, L2 level of knowledge. And then you go deeper into it, L3 knowledge. So what I personal belief is that in colleges, we have up to L2 and L3 knowledge which is there, but we need to wire them together. We need to wire from the holistic perspective. What is the end desirability comes into picture from that knowledge. Why do I study physics? Why do I study mechanical engineering? Why do I study mechanics? Why do I study thermodynamics? I need to connect all those dots and make it a common holistic thinking for him that how they get connected when I'm studying it. When I was in engineering college, I never connected the dots. I was studying each element as a fragmented element, not as a holistic thinking. So we need to have a L0 of what a particular course we are getting into, and then we break it down into the L3 level. We teach at L3 level. My belief is we need to go from L0 to L3 and not from L3 to L0. I'll just play a small movie or design center for 2 minutes video.
Is where reputations are built and destroyed. With 25 years of deep domain expertise in building, maintaining, and extending financial technology solutions for global and regional banking and insurance leaders, no one understands this complexity better. The single most powerful competitive differentiator for financial institutions is design, which will have a powerful impact on the challenging CIO agenda. At the world's only financial technology design center, financial institutions can now experience the power of collaborative design for serious business outcomes. 8012 FT Design Center is a revolutionary collaborative workspace spread over 6 distinct zones. The Pi Space initiates a dialogue on why design matters and reflects on design patterns in business, technology, and operations. The Co-Paris Labs attack the 7 dimensions of complexity across customer experience, operations efficiency, performance, analytics, risk management, integration, and security. The FT design space draws together business design, technology design, and operations design in close physical proximity. This unique approach helps visualize the 3 imperatives in a single integrated view. White spaces are immediately apparent. Dots are connected. Exploring pain points, probing interdependencies, and integrating roles, processes, data, and customers all vividly come alive in this design space. At Omega, all limiting beliefs are challenged. Guided high-performance workouts for homogeneous and cross-functional business unit teams address constraints and architect solutions. The Solution Design Zone is an advanced collaborative design facility. The 8012 FT Design Center is focused on a sustainable tomorrow. At ZF, powered by green energy, future possibilities are debated. At D1 and D2, Financial institutions book facilities for custom-built applications design and enhanced training. The world's only financial technology design center encourages financial institutions to take design seriously. Arun Jain believes design will drive FT transformation. To benefit from design work sessions, he insists on participation by carefully selected teams from enterprises seeking serious business outcomes. Bookings at the 8012 FT Design Center should be made well in advance to avoid disappointment.
So at this point of time, this is a small view of what we have created at OMR, where we bring the students, colleges, teachers to demonstrate that this is a place which is available there and the entire building has been designed that way. When I say design thinking is about connecting dots, I'm saying there are four elements which we can connect together. We have industry employment base is there. We have more than 3 million IT employees are there, how they participate in the change of mentoring the college student. We have a teaching community, which all the teachers sitting here, how they participate together to educate college student, and then the school students. So if you look at these four dots, four ecosystems to be connected, my proposal is that if corporates take up last kind of a behavior where corporate employees in their weekends, they can touch the soil from where they come from. They do their social responsibility of 2 days in a year to go and educate a particular school in a district and a village. If that kind of program can be instilled, we give a small scholarship to the student where 40% scholarship is given by the employee and 60% is given by the corporate. It's a very small amount, but it builds the commitment to the corporate employees. That's the one kind of program. Then college student become a elder brother and elder sister, kind of a peer level learning process for the school students. The way we did an experiment with TQI, Talent Quest of India in SRM college students, they went themselves, they created the energy among themselves. And then the teacher community, we can take a commitment that, okay, we can bring design thinking into, let's say, 50 teachers we can train in design center. We bring them for 3 days to 5 days, kind of a workshop there, bring the design thinking concept over there so that they can take back those concepts and start implementing those concepts in their own colleges. My suggestion is that don't teach in your own college, you invite the design teachers from other colleges. So what first pedagogy belief is that people learn when somebody else intervenes, not the same person intervene. So if you are belonging to college A, go to college B to teach, and college B professor can come and teach in your college about design thinking. That may help in doing the cross-pollination of the design thinking and learning. So these four ecosystems, if you can connect the energy for this, it doesn't require any additional money from the state government. It can come from the time only from the college and corporate employees, which they are giving their time. College students which have got an ample time, getting 5 days from them is not a big deal. School students get motivated and inspired because they get a mentor. College students become more responsible and accountable because if I have to support some 10 students who will give me a call, I feel the responsibility from them, and that responsibility plays a very significant role in corporate life because that's what our customers want from our employees. So when any customer wants that if I make a call to the employee, he will deliver the job. So if he delivers the job, that's what we actually want. So for that, we are looking for designing Summit 5. So we can train 50 design thinking trainers. There could be Summit 5, which is a 20-hour module. Trainers to cross-train across other institutions, and design thinking labs can be created into the. So if a 2,000 square feet is available in the college, we can create a design thinking lab where you have a whiteboard as large as 25 feet by 9 feet. So I given a challenge in design center that I need a whiteboard like this where I don't have a boundary walls. So I can write from 25 feet, you imagine a large wall of 25 feet and 9 feet where there's no boundaries are there. So my thinking process starts shifting when I have a 25 feet by 9 feet white walls. And then I challenge them, My architect says, no, for white walls you need a Sunmica. I said, why do you need Sunmica? Why can't you paint with the same chemical which you apply on Sunmica? So they paint a wall of 25 feet or 9 feet, and that painted wall you can write with a whiteboard, and that becomes a whiteboard for the whole thing. So challenging the belief, putting in no boundaries. As we look at it in design thinking, there's no boundaries. These are the kind of a proposition we are proposing over here, and that over the period of time with all your collaboration, your inputs when you are in the art center, I think we can evolve it better, because design thinking is not a one answer. Answers will evolve based on the future desirability and the infrastructure which state government is providing, which is supported by Lakshmi on one side, Ramachandran on second side. I think we have a right team over here. Fortunately, the time is right in today's workshop, and that can bring out a big change in the ICT Academy. Thank you very much.